A tragic accident left the man in a coma for 23 years.
But it turns out he was conscious the entire time and couldn't tell anyone. Fox's Rick Leventhal has the story.
Imagine decades of loneliness, frustration, and the inability to tell anyone what's wrong. That's what happened to 46-year-old Ram Hoban. After a car crash 23 years ago, doctors diagnosed him as being in a vegetative state. But it turns out he was conscious.
Once the patient gets the stamp vegetative state, it might be difficult to put that diagnosis in question.
Ram says he was trapped in his paralyzed body, aware of what was going on around him. It wasn't until a Liège University neurologist, using a new type of PET scan 3 years ago, saw brain activity. The breakthrough came when Ram was able to communicate with him by slightly moving his foot.
It took way too much time before everybody realized he was fully conscious.
Ram's story came to light after his doctors published a study looking at more than 100 comatose patients.
In about 4 out of 10 cases, doctors were wrong, and there were small signs of consciousness.
Those findings suggest this is not an isolated incident.
At the end of the day, doctors, even though they try to do their best in making the diagnosis, there's still a big mystery into many of these cases.
Ram has since been diagnosed with a form of locked-in syndrome. That's what happens when people can think and reason but are unable to speak or move.
He was listening, he was, but he just couldn't communicate.
Over the years, Ram's family refused to accept his doctor's vegetative state diagnosis and believed he was aware of his surroundings. They say they never once considered pulling the plug. In New York, Rick Leventhal, Fox News.
Ram communicates with one finger and a special touch screen computer in his wheelchair. He has even started writing a book.